Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Meredith Phillips. I'm a writer, reader, and bunny mama. And before we get into the main vlog stuff, I wanted to remind you that tomorrow, Saturday the 30th, I am hosting another live stream. It's going to be at 10 in the morning Central Time. So I hope you'll be able to join me. We'll work for maybe about an hour and a half or so. Make sure you have a project kind of ready to go, some goals in mind, because this is supposed to be a work-focused live stream. Anyway, today is Saturday the 23rd and I am having a very slow start to my day. It's 3 o'clock already and I've definitely done some work, but I've also done things that are not at all work related or even house chore related. So let me fill you in. I've honestly been feeling still, even after last weekend when I got a lot done and I had those 4 days off, I'm still feeling like I'm behind on a lot of stuff where I'm like, oh, trying to catch up. And I've had sort of an anxious pit in my stomach all week, which hasn't been great. This morning I decided to sit down and write out a to-do list, and I sat down and did that, and it was like, you stupid. You should have done this a long time ago. Once I had everything written down, just seeing it in a list, it makes it so much more manageable. Instead of it all sort of floating around in your head, down on paper, you can see exactly what you need to do. And honestly, looking at the list, it's not really all that bad. I am more caught up than I have been previously, which is great. So if you have a lot of stuff going on and you're feeling anxious about it or feeling like you're behind, make a list if you haven't already, because that helped me a lot. And again, it's something that I should have thought to do myself. I don't know why I didn't do it on like Monday, but I didn't. I think I was like nervous, like, oh, I don't want to write a list because it's going to be overwhelming or something, but just write the list. I sort of took it easy though, because I still have been feeling a little just overwhelmed, I guess, by a few different things, both like writing and content creating and other stuff in life. But I took it slow this morning, took my time getting ready and made my list, and I've been planning out Instagram content and feeling positive about that. Instead of it feeling like, oh my gosh, I got to do a whole bunch of stuff for that, it feels much more manageable the way I'm sort of trying to break things down. I'll link a video below from Katie Steckley. If you don't follow her, she's a great one to follow if you're interested in Instagram or TikTok. She does a lot of TikTok videos too, but like about how to plan your content, how to manipulate the algorithm to work better for you, how to get better engagement, like all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that, I'll link her channel below. She's a really great resource for a lot of that stuff. I'm going to try to wrap up the Instagram planning stuff for the moment. And then I think I'm going to try to do my hour of writing work. I'm going to try something though a little different this week, this next 2 weeks. I don't know. Still do want to do a full hour of writing every day if I can manage that. But instead of just switching to that task after doing something else, I want to try to give myself a chance to transition my brain into that kind of work. And here's how I'm planning to do that. I'm going to try to start my writing time by reading a section in Natalie Goldberg's Writing Down the Bones. I have had a copy of this book since I was in college. I read through the whole thing while I was in college, and since then I've read little snippets here and there. This is a fantastic book for writers in general. It is not specific for fiction writers or nonfiction writers. If you write young adult fantasy or if you write adult horror, there is things for you in this book. It's extremely inspirational, at least to me it is. It always makes me want to go to the keyboard or pick up a pen and start writing. So if you need a really good writing craft book, I think this is a great one to pick up. There are practical tips in it too. She does give you exercises to try and things like that, but a lot of it is more inspirational in nature and I really enjoy it. So my plan is to read one of the pieces in this before I start writing. The sections are pretty short for most of the time. Some of them are just a single page, and I think at most they might be 3 or 4 pages long. So at most this would take me maybe 10 minutes to read through, and then I'm going to try to start writing. I'm going to start with the first piece in this book and then get to my writing work for the day. Okay, one quick note on this book that I do want to mention before I get started on the writing stuff. The book was written in, hold please, The book was written in 1986, so it is officially as old as me. So of course, some of the technologies she's referencing is like, oh, or you could use a typewriter. She also mentions these newfangled computers that some people now have. Here's what she says about using a computer. I have not worked very much with a computer, but I can imagine using a Macintosh, where the keyboard can be put on my lap, closing my eyes and just typing away. The computer automatically returns the carriage. The device is called wraparound. You can wrap non-stop. You don't have to worry about the typewriter ringing a little bell at the end of the line. So, okay, a few of the things are just a tad bit outdated. I think if you get the newly updated 30th anniversary edition, that kind of thing might not be in there anymore, but the advice is still good. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead now and get started on the revision work. Okay, still have this crazy princess chandelier up there. But I did get through the next two scenes. These are both in the adhesion section. You have to have a point where the two characters are going to be thrown together for the foreseeable future. There has to be a reason that they're going to be around each other or interacting with each other in some manner. So that's the section I just got through. I'm getting to a part where after I had written the first draft, I realized that there was a way that things were working out that was pretty weak. There has to be a reason for the main female character to be willing to help out the main male character. The reason that I built into this initial first draft is kind of weak. It's kind of like, what person would be convinced by this? Like, so I need to kind of rework that. I think I know how I'm going to do it. I had another idea while I was taking notes that might reinforce it a little bit better. We're thinking about it. I'll see what I can do. But there is going to be a scene. I think it's the next scene. Yeah, the next scene that I have, I think I'm just going to have to delete the whole thing because it takes place in a new setting that it won't fit with the sort of new reasoning that I have behind their motivation. So I think it's just going to have to be deleted. I won't actually remove it from this document quite yet. I'll just put a note, I think, on the entire thing that just is like, delete all of it, which kind of sucks because this is, oh my gosh, this is almost 2,000 words. I'm done with this for today. I need to make some notes for the video I have to film tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and go, and I'll probably check in with you tomorrow. Hey guys, it is Sunday. It is going on 4 o'clock. I have had a very productive day, even though I don't really feel all that great today. I've gotten a lot done. I ended up editing 2 videos. I edited the video you would have seen on Tuesday, the work in progress tag video. I'll link that up here if you're interested in checking that out, and I'll link it below too. I also edited the exclusive video for newsletter subscribers, which that just went out today. So if you're a newsletter subscriber, you should have received that with the link to that video. If you haven't subscribed to the newsletter yet, you can still do that and you'll still be able to get access to the newsletter that just went out today. So that information, of course, will be in the description. I uploaded everything. I did thumbnails for stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and do my writing work for the day, and then I think I'm gonna try to work a little bit more on Instagram content and scheduling things, hopefully at least for this week. So you'll be able to go to my Instagram and see how well I did this week with posting stuff, but that's the plan. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. I'm gonna grab my little book here and read the next section. Oh, and I also filmed the video that'll be going up next Tuesday, I think, for you. February 2nd's video is filmed. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and read the next little section in here and then get started on the next scene in my first draft. So in this section that I just read, it's titled First Thoughts, and it essentially is talking about writing in stream of consciousness, which is basically what I do every morning in my journal when I'm doing my morning pages. It's a very similar kind of practice, and I wanted to read to you just one little section. You can kind of get a taste of the type of stuff that's in here. So she has a lot of the sort of typical rules that you hear about stream of consciousness writing. Things like keep your hand moving, don't stop, don't go back and cross things out, don't try to edit it. It's just writing exactly what's in your mind as your hand goes across the page, and that's that. So she says it's important to adhere to the rules because the aim is to burn through to first thoughts, to the place where energy is unobstructed by social politeness or the internal censor, to the place where you are writing what your mind actually sees and feels, not what it thinks it should see or feel. If you've never just sat down and written stream of consciousness type stuff, even just for like 10 minutes, I would start small, because sometimes when you first start this kind of thing, 10 minutes is a long time to just sit there and be writing. But I'd encourage you to try it. Just grab a piece of paper, grab a notebook, and sit down and put on a timer on your phone or something and just start writing. And if you get to a point where you're like, I don't know what to write, you can literally just write that. I'm not sure what to say here. I'm not sure what to write next. I don't know what to say next. I don't know what to say next. Like, you can write that same thing over and over again until something else comes to your mind. So if you try it, let me know, because I'd love to see what it does for you. A lot of times things come out that is surprising. And when you reread it, a lot of times you're like, yeah, that is how I'm feeling, or yeah, that is what I really truly think about X, Y, or Z, and it's just a great practice. So I encourage you to do that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start actually doing some revision work over here and see how far I get. Okay, I've gotten to the part in this where I need to sort of divide this into two sections. The first section is the sort of mini scene, I guess you could say, that really needs to be cut, because I'm going to steer the story in a slightly different direction, and it's gonna get back around to the same place. We're just gonna get there a different way. So I don't want to actually delete it yet. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put some returns in to kind of space it apart from the section I do want to keep. And I think what I'm gonna do is highlight it and put it all in italics, and then highlight it some kind of color, just so that it's obvious, like, we're deleting this, probably. Don't quite want to delete it yet. There might be some lines in there or a back and forth that could be put somewhere else. I don't know. That's how I'm gonna solve that problem for the time being, and then I'll go ahead and take notes on the rest. All right, so I think I'm about done for today. I went through two scenes and I thought of something else that I kind of want to go back when I'm finished going through everything, sort of this first pass, I guess you could say, and really try to pinpoint a few things. So what I'm going to try to do later, and I left a note for myself in like a general notes section, because this is what I want, I think, the phase 2 revision note kind of things to be. And that is, I've heard the advice, or the, I don't know, I guess advice, a bunch of times, that each scene should have its own beginning, middle, and end, its own setup, resolution, or setup, conflict, and resolution, to make the whole book have rising action in every scene. Of course, the overall book should still have setup, conflict, and then resolution, but it's much more interesting if every single scene within that also has that same pattern. So I really want to go back and actually type out, here's the setup for this scene, here's the conflict in the scene, here's how it's resolved at the end of the scene. I think that'll be a good way to measure whether a scene is necessary, whether it's interesting, whether it has the sort of basic elements that a scene needs to have. So I put a note to myself to go do that later. So that's all I have for you today. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, go ahead and click the subscribe button. I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. I'm also thinking ahead to February and the live stream schedule for that month, so definitely be on the lookout for that. I'll post it as soon as I know it. I'm still kind of deciding between a few different dates, but that will be coming soon. And yeah, I think that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you again so much for watching. Bye. No. Okay. I don't know why I turned this on before doing this. Whoa. Okay, so, yep, the microphone's on. Good job. Okay.